Hey guys, thanks for coming out and seeing some live performances. You less so. Look, Ahmad made the point, I'm relatively new at this, and I just want to make sure that we all have a good night, that we're all on the same page, heading in the right direction. I presume you've paid your money, you've come out, you want to laugh. I want you to laugh. It's a good start. But I'm worried that you're not going to laugh. I just want to tell you, no, I'm not worried about you. You're either the least or the most of my worries. I haven't decided. But I want to give you a tiny history lesson for the context of what's about to happen. Because before television, 100 years ago, who needs punchlines? Before television, about 100 years ago, people went out and saw shows like this, but they weren't just comedy. The Americans called it vaudeville, and the British called it music hall, and it might be a comedian, followed by a juggler, followed by a singer, and there'd be an MC like Ahmad, well, not exactly like Ahmad, who would be emceeing the show. And if the people in the audience didn't like what they'd paid for, they would chuck vegetables, rotten tomatoes, at the stage. You've seen there's a website called Rotten Tomatoes, which rates movies as to how bad they are. That's based on the idea that these people used to throw tomatoes. Now, I think it should be a two-way situation. I've spoken to the management here at Happy Endings, and I've said, if the audience is shit, can I throw... I don't know why you're laughing, but probably because you feel safe. Can I throw tomatoes at the audience? And they said, Andrew, it's likely to make a bit of a mess. And I thought, not if I keep them in the tins at once. So. Just in case. Just in case. You can probably imagine a lot of the people who work in performance art, if that actually includes me, aren't really hierarchy corporate people. It's been a long time since I had a salaried corporate responsible job where I had to turn up every day and either give orders or take orders or both. And it's because I just didn't have a sort of background where I had the role model around me for people who went and worked responsible jobs every day. I grew up on a street. My dad didn't go to work every day. In fact, didn't go to work in a job. My mum didn't have a job. The neighbours, I don't think either of them had a job on one side. The guy on the other side worked a little bit, and so people across the road sometimes went to work, but it wasn't the sort of place where you had a role model of somebody who went off and worked in an office every day and brought home the bacon and showed you what mainstream society is really like. And it's left me without people to copy as a good, reliable corporate citizen, employee, team player. And I've often thought about what it was about our neighbourhood where there were so little people with gainful employment. And it's taken me years to come to the realisation that in Bellevue Hill, everyone's so fucking rich. They really don't need to go to work. No, I don't want you to think. I don't want you to overestimate the wealth in my neighbourhood. I knew some kids that skied in Australia. It's true. And there was a fella down the road, about 3 or 4 doors down, and the rumour went around the neighbourhood that his fortune was at risk, that his business had turned to shit, and he wasn't going to be in the neighbourhood much longer, and there were telltale signs, like he was washing his own Bentley. I mean, that's a fucking cry for help right there. Anyway, it all came good. Whatever it was, whether the rumours weren't true or not, I don't know what happened, but all of a sudden, it all came good, and he was wealthy again, and there was no problem. And he and his wife celebrated. They went out and got some plastic surgery for her. So, normally you and I might do home renovations. She did a bit of renovation here, and I saw him. I hadn't seen her for a while, and I said to him, mate, how did your wife's plastic surgery go? He said, she can't take the smile off her face. I don't know what he meant by that exactly. There's two ways that could have gone. You presume, and you might be right to presume, people who grow up in wealthy neighbourhoods with wealthy friends and wealthy cousins and wealthy people around you end up joining elite private clubs and health clubs and golf clubs and get taken to nice places not everyone gets to go to, and that's true. And I've been in a lot of those clubs. And people presume, no, it's fucking good, I tell you. And there's a general rule that says the more money you pay for your club membership, the more problematic rules they enforce upon you. And I know of, people think, oh shit, you have to dress up the whole time and present and you can't relax. But I know, like the club I'm a member of, you don't need to wear a tie in the sauna on weekends. Access, there's lots of access. I want to talk about access a tiny bit. It's a very modern thing. We're very concerned about access and giving everyone access. Accessibility, getting out in places. Have you noticed?
Access to a vagina?
I think you'd rather change the topic there. And I'm not Dr. Phil. But dealing people in, giving them a chance. And have you noticed around the place, there's little braille signs. You come to a street sign, and there's a braille sign that tells you what the street is. If you go to the Westfield Shopping Centre, there's a braille sign where the men's toilets are, where the women's toilets are, where the lifts. I took interest in this. They're not at standardised heights. How does the blind people find fucking braille signs to know what the street is and where the bathrooms are and everything? And I spoke to a blind friend of mine. I said, mate, I've never seen anybody use those braille signs. He said he hadn't either. And I said, how do you feel about that? He said, to be honest, Andrew, I'm not always sure what I'm feeling. We got there eventually. Look, I've been given the secret signal that I should leave the stage. But before I do, I've very much appreciated your close attention. So thanks for coming along, supporting all the different people coming up here tonight. And live performance of any type, so it depends on the audience, and you're a tremendous audience. Thank you very much.